What do we got here?
This is the most beautiful acoustic guitar you have ever seen. A Gibson Custom Shop SJ200.
Oh, what's so nice about this?
Whoa, okay. Now, let me handle that.
What are you guys tripping on?
This guitar was built by a man named Ren Ferguson, and he is one of the most respected guitar luthiers in the world. And this was actually the very first Master Museum. This is serial number 1. Master Museum series is a collection of acoustic guitars, really high-end, really ornate.
So it's serial number 1, Master Museum series, built by Ren Ferguson.
Yep.
What's so special about that?
It's about as special as it can be for guitar. It's really rare that something like this actually comes in.
I buy and sell a lot of guitars. That's what I do for a living. It's a collector's guitar. It's an art piece, basically. Probably the most beautiful acoustic guitar you've ever seen. It's perfect. So yeah, here we've got pearl and abalone inlays on the pick guard, all the way up the ebony fretboard. You can see the sparkle sunburst purfling there. They call it purfling around the edges. Maple back and sides. Got a Sitka spruce top. Ebony bridge, like I said, ebony fretboard.
Have you ever played this?
Once. I played it once for about 2 minutes, and then I put it back in the case.
How's it sound?
It is the best sounding guitar I have ever played.
How much do you want for it?
Looking to get 50 grand.
50 grand. Do you mind if I have a buddy of mine come take a look at it?
Is there any particular reason?
You know, if I'm gonna come up with a number, it's gonna be from him.
Okay, that's fair enough. We can do that.
All right, Chum, come with me. I don't trust you around it.
Whoa.
Need I say more?
That's rad. The Master Museum series that Gibson started was kind of like a showcase to show off the caliber of work that their workers can do. They gave each one kind of a different theme, and they do a few a year. Wow, sounds as good as it looks.
Yes, it does.
This is as good as it gets. This is the Rolex Presidential of Gibson guitars. So I guess the million-dollar question, you want to know what you should get into it for?
Yeah, I mean, what are they selling for?
The average Master Museum averages about 30 grand. This one, being the first one, man, I mean, easily 50 to 60 grand, I would think.
Dang.
It's the right guy guitar, because you got to find a guy that's really into this kind of an instrument. But it's the coolest of the bunch, you know?
Well, right on, my man. Appreciate it.
No problem, dude. You know, a guitar of this caliber usually ends up in a rock star's hands or a really high-end collector.
You said you wanted 50, man. I mean, I got to make money on it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Would you go 40? I will give you $100 bills.
I really don't want to come off of that asking price.
You know, man, I'm afraid that I'm gonna buy it off you, and I'm gonna have it for 2 years, and I'm gonna sell it for 50 grand. I gotta make something. 43.
48?
45.
I can't do it, man.
You can do 45.
You gotta remember, this is serial number 1. I'm hesitant even to drop to 48. I really don't want to move for my price.
All right, deal. Chum, you want to go write them up? I wasn't expecting to drop that much, but it's such a nice guitar. I'm banking on getting at least 60,000 for it when I sell it. Otherwise, I'm not going to make a dime on it.
All right, I just need your ID.
Kind of having some second thoughts, man.
You gonna sell it or not? Hey, Corey! Come here, this guy's having second thoughts.
Counting the money, man.
I don't think I can sell it, man.
Sure?
I don't think so.
Have you seen the new $100 bills?
They're beautiful.
Have you ever seen 100 of them?
It looks great, but man, this is my baby.
You want 50 for it?
I just
Hey,
don't.
that's what you came in here wanting.
No, man. I just don't think I can part with it.
Oh, man, I can't force you, but if you change your mind, I'll be here, all right?
All right. I'm sorry, man.
Take care.
Big Hoss, I'll have some of that money.
I think this is the first time where I've ever actually backed out on a deal that I thought was, you know, a fair price. When I shook his hand and my heart just sank and man, I couldn't do it. When I got over to the counter, I had to come clean.
I have a guitar for you.
Okay. Oh, this is your guitar?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a 1961 Fender Stratocaster.
That's a big wow factor right there.
It certainly is, yeah.
My earliest memories of, when I was a kid, watching old videos of Jimi Hendrix play a white early 60s Stratocaster, but he played it upside down.
It did, yeah.
It's in pretty damn good shape. So where did you get this thing?
This guitar's been with me for years. I've worked on records with Nancy Sinatra and Petula Clark, Tom Jones. It's not unusual.
All right. So were you like a studio musician?
I was, from 1958 till about 1983.
Did you play with any rock bands and stuff too?
I did. Well, I mean, I was part of of Herman's Hermits.
Yeah, I've heard of Herman's Hermits.
Yeah, okay, with the Silhouette. If you hear the Silhouette, that's me playing the solo. I actually worked a little bit with the Beatles. You probably might have heard of the film Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
Well, when Ringo's walking around at the end of that film, this guitar is playing Ringo's theme, which is the one he's walking about to. So it does have quite a good history.
It's got a hell of a history on it. Yeah.
I have a partial list of the records that I played on. This is 36 pages.
This is how many albums you've been on?
Well, albums and films and...
This is your name right here, Vic Flick?
Vic Flick, that's my name, yeah.
So you worked on films too?
I worked on films. I worked on Goldfinger, James Bond. Actually played the James Bond theme, which...
You played the James Bond theme?
Yes.
Of all the movie themes, that would probably be the most recognizable one, period.
A 1961 Fender Strat is worth 5 digits at least. They're extremely desired. And one that actually played on big movie scores could be worth 10 times that amount. But it's all whether or not the story checks out. So...
How much you looking to get out of it?
$70,000.
Ooh, it's a 61 Strat, so that makes it worth 5 figures. I mean, the low 5 figures by itself. I'm gonna call someone up who knows everything about a guitar, knows everything in the world about music. I'm just basically gonna ask him, does your name make it worth that much?
Oh, I see.
Okay, so Jesse's store is just a few blocks away, so he'll be down a little bit.
Okay,
all right?
sure,
I'll be right
no
back.
problem, no problem. I'm used to people not knowing who I am. I have to ask myself that sometimes.
So you know this guy?
Yeah, this is the guy that Jimmy Page would look over his shoulder in the studio and like figure out what he was doing so he could. Honor to meet you. Honor to meet you.
Thank you, Jesse.
You helped teach Jimmy Page.
I helped Jimmy Page. I advised him on a couple of things, yes.
You know, I was pretty stoked when they called and told me that Vic Flick was in the shop. One of my heroes from the 60s and 70s. There's very few songs that he didn't play some guitar on.
So I basically need to know, this being his guitar, obviously a very influential guy in the music industry. So what do you think it's worth?
You know, a really good condition 61 in Olympic white, probably be about a $35,000 guitar on its own.
Okay.
Let alone with the pedigree of this guitar. You've heard this guitar probably more times than you even realize. You've heard this particular guitar.
Probably true, yeah.
Yeah. I could see this going to a collector at auction easily. Easily $60,000, $70,000. This is cool. This is like beyond cool.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, man.
No problem.
If you say it's cool, you say it's cool.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you. As far as selling the guitar, I'm sure there's plenty of collectors out there who would love to own that guitar. I mean, not just simply because it was Vic Flick's, but because of the number of songs and recordings that the guitar was used on. It's pretty significant in rock and roll history.
All right. We take 50 grand for it.
I'm looking more towards the 70, maybe 65.
It's nothing personal. I'm just thinking, I mean, you're sort of a rock star, and that's my quandary when I go to sell this.
Do you go 60?
I will go $55,000. I think that's a fair price. I take all the risks. All right,
Deal. Yeah. Okay.
let's go do some paperwork.
Okay. I was surprised. I thought he was going to go down to the 30s or something like that. I knew he'd probably go for 55, and I'm happy. Now I've got the money in my back pocket, I think the wife and I will just pop out for a beer or two and celebrate the occasion.
This belonged to my Aunt Mary.
Les Paul SG.
Aunt Mary just a guitar fan, or?
No, Les Paul's wife,
This belonged to Mary Ford?
Mary Ford. I came to the pawn shop today to try and sell my Aunt Mary's Les Paul guitar and some paperwork that documents a lot of things in the Les Paul history. I'm hoping to sell this today to pay off some bills. I'm looking for at least $250,000 for this collection today.
Les Paul's more or less a legend. I mean, he invented the log, which was like the first real electric guitar. I know he patented all sorts of different things with pickups, amplifiers. Basically, everything about a modern electric guitar was invented by him. In the 1950s, Les Paul and his wife, Mary Ford, had over a dozen #1 hits and sold millions upon millions of records.
There's some paperwork you might want to take a look at just to see. We have a lot of correspondence between Les and his manager.
And we have Les Paul's signature and
We
stuff
have
in there?
signatures, we have contracts.
What were you looking to do with all this stuff?
I'm looking to sell it.
Can I call somebody up, take a look at this thing? Let's figure out what it's worth, and maybe we can make a deal.
For sure, let's do that.
This is without a doubt one of the most amazing collections I have ever seen.
The guys usually call me down when they have question documents or question signatures, and in this particular case, we did have this situation today. Well, let's take a closer look to see what we have, all right? You know, for a very complicated guy, he had a very simplistic signature, and he didn't always write his last name. All right, well, you got a fantastic collection here. I don't see any evidence really of a secretarial. The consistency of the first name is right where we want it to be. And there's no doubt in my mind, this stuff is all good. There's no doubt.
Okay.
Well, his signature is extremely popular. Most musicians would love to have that in their collection.
All right, now that we know all the paperwork's cool, let me get Jesse down here to check out this guitar. Let me go give him a call, find out where he's at.
I already called him.
You already called him?
Yeah. What's going on, Jesse?
Not a lot. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
The guys usually just call me down here anytime they get anything with strings on it and they need to know what it's worth.
Wow. This is amazing. I can't even believe I'm holding this in my hands.
Mary Ford's Les Paul, this is absolutely crazy. Every hit that Les Paul had as a musician, pretty much, she was there with him. She was a singer. She could go note for note with Les as a guitar player. She was really, really good.
Wasn't Les Paul unhappy with this guitar or something like that?
Les actually hated these guitars. He had a pretty tumultuous relationship with Gibson. We should probably plug it in and make sure everything works.
So you want to play it?
Yeah, I want to play it.
All right, so it works?
Yeah, it works. It works.
Okay.
Les Paul's my idol. To play a guitar that's that closely associated to him is just nuts to me. This is history, dude. It's easily a six-figure guitar.
Okay, so you're saying 100,000?
Probably 150. I don't see why you could not get that with the documents, the history of the guitar. You know, at auction, who knows? You get two rich guys going against each other, you have no idea.
All right, man. I think I have all the info I need.
It's an amazing guitar. If Rick buys this guitar, I don't think he's gonna have a problem selling it.
Big thing is, how much you want for it now?
Well, I was thinking $250,000 would do it.
You know, a few years ago, maybe, I mean, there's not as many buyers in the market. You know, I mean, Jesse was saying right around maybe 150 would happen. I mean, if you want a check today, I'll give you 75 grand.
It's not gonna happen. This is once in a lifetime. I'll tell you what, if you want it, I'd take 100.
I'll tell you what, I'll do 85. I can't do a penny more. There's a lot of things I have to look at.
I understand, but you're buying a piece of rock and roll history.
That's why I'm offering $85,000. That's more than I've ever paid for a guitar.
Yeah, but you're not just getting a guitar. You're getting this too.
I know that it's the package, but my money's gonna be tied up for years. I'm gonna have to find the right customer, the right auction. If I find the right auction, the auction's gonna be expensive.
Okay, well, if you want to pay 90, you can have it.
$88,000.
90,000. You got
$88,000.
You're getting history here. 90,000. That's my number.
All right, $90,000.
Deal.
All right, write it up.
Come on, man, we got a lot of paperwork to do.
I just spent 90 grand on a guitar and a stack of papers. That's a ton of money.
What do we got?
A 1952 Fender Telecaster.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And where in the world did you get this thing?
Found it in my grandpa's basement, and he loved to play, so he got to get himself a good guitar.
Do you know much about it, or?
I know it's old. I want to sell this guitar because I really need some money for college. It's really expensive out there, so getting some money to pay tuition and pay maybe a little bit of rent would be pretty cool.
These are great. It's a Fender Telecaster. I mean, basically, you think of an electric guitar, this was the first one. Before that, it was acoustic and acoustic electric. There's just too much feedback from inside the hollow body of the guitar, so they needed to make a solid body version of it. And Fender was the one to kind of figure out the best way to do it. And basically, I mean, this is the first electric guitar that we know of today. How much are you looking to get out of it?
13,000.
13,000? Well, I'll tell you what, man. Let me call a friend of mine down, because I've seen these things go for $5,000. I've seen them go for $500,000. Let me have my buddy Jesse come down and just kind of check it out for me, and he'll tell me what it's worth.
All right.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right, I'll be right back.
Cool. Wanna check it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is cool. This is in good shape. It's a blackguard, so it's anywhere between 52 and 54. It looks like it's in all original shape. There's a couple things you want to look for on these. There was a gentleman that worked at Fender named Taddeo Gomez. He was like their woodworker, and it makes a guitar a lot easier to sell if it's got his initials on it somewhere. Usually it's on the end of the neck or in the neck pocket. And you mind if I open it up and look inside?
Nah, man, you crack it open.
So let's open it up here and we'll see who put this together. And there it is. That's exactly what you want to see. Taddeo, 125 of 52, so January 25th, 1952.
What do you think it might be worth?
A blackguard in this condition, in today's market, they hover anywhere between 25 and 30.
Okay. Mind putting it back together for me?
Yeah, I'll put it back together.
Thank you, Grandpa.
I'll give you your 13,000. I know you want more. Here's the deal. I'm still taking all the risks, and it's up to you.
I'm feeling 30,000.
You're feeling 30,000 now. Okay. Buddy, I promise I'll give you 13,000 cash for it right now. If you want to spend the next 6 months trying to sell it, feel free, but it's up to you, man. I'll give you 13 for it.
Cash?
Cash.
Yep, it's good enough for a semester.
All right, cool. Maybe over there and we'll do some paperwork, all right?
Awesome.
What's up, man?
What's going on, dude? What's up?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
A guy came in with a 1939 Gene Autry Roundup guitar. It's a cool guitar, but it's got a lot of cracks and damage. So I called Jesse to come take a look.
Gene Autry, king of the Cowboys. You know, he's like Elvis Presley before Elvis Presley. He was the dude.
And he was all wholesome. He was all good.
Yeah. He had his cowboy code, you know, like
Exactly.
don't shoot first and always be a hard worker, keep yourself clean and presentable. Gene Autry was known for, you know, his awesome cowboy skills, I guess you'd say, and that's why they put his name on lunch boxes, TV programs, commercials, anything they could sell. And most of the time they have like a cowboy motif, you know, like a guy by the campfire with some cactuses and his horse or whatever, and they'll say Gene Autry. They're usually a lot smaller, like a little kid's guitar. Okay. This is actually kind of cool. This is kind of a neat one.
I mean, it's got some serious issues there. I mean, I'm almost afraid to touch it.
Yeah. The bridge is a piece of ebony, and it looks like it's dried out like crazy. If you were gonna play this, you would definitely have to get that repaired. The top cracks are another one. What's happening is the guitar's shrinking, and there's braces that they put under here that are a different kind of wood. They don't shrink. So when this shrinks, it pulls and cracks and makes exactly what you see here.
So what do you think it's worth?
It's kind of a nice little set. You got some Gene Autry books and some cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
In this shape, you know, on a good day, you might be able to pull $500 to $700 probably, maybe, you know?
Okay. Sweet. I appreciate you coming down.
No problem, no problem. You know, if Corey gets into this for the right price, he probably doesn't have to do anything to it. People still buy the Gene Autry stuff because it looks cool hanging on a wall, as opposed to something that somebody's gonna go out and play gigs with.
Cowboy coat or not, I don't know if I want the thing. I'll give you $100 for it.
Nah, come on, $100.
I'm more afraid of the thing breaking into 100 pieces as one of my guys are going to show it to somebody.
You know, 500 be a low estimate for it, so how about you go 350? It'll fly off your shelf.
$125.
No, make it 250 and we got a deal.
Ain't gonna happen, man. 150.
151?
All right, sure, 151. There you go, deal. Show me right shot.
I'll meet you up over there.
Okay. I couldn't let him get in the last word, so I got that $1 extra, and that means a lot.
Hello. That is an awfully large guitar case.
Pretty heavy. There we go.
For an extremely large guitar. Can we pull it out?
Yeah. It's a 1979 Karl Sandoval custom-built Flying V.
All right. Well, it's signed by Karl Sandoval. It says 1979 on the back of it.
Yeah. I'm here at the pawn shop today to sell my Karl Sandoval Flying V guitar. I've been playing guitar for over 30 years, and I have like 22 guitars, and this is one I bought at an online auction. And this one, the diamonds aren't really my style for my band right now, so I'm looking to get $4,500 for it today.
It looks really, really cool. Karl Sandoval, he was a really big innovator with guitars in the 70s. The cool thing he did, though, was he made guitars that were thicker than the Gibsons, so they could have a bridge like this put into it.
The tremolo. Yeah,
the tremolo bar right there. I mean, because
it's thicker.
You know, like the late 70s. I mean, these guys are bending those things.
Right.
You know, they're getting on stage. Wah! So
Right.
you needed a bigger body to handle this kind of tremolo in there, and that's what made everyone want his guitars. Heavy metal music abuses a guitar, and you needed sort of like the heavy-duty guitar that could handle it, and he came up with the perfect guitar for that. You know, Gibson came out with the Flying V, I think it was like 1958, but they only made a few of them, weren't real successful. The V-style got popular again in the late 60s, and all of a sudden it just popped and everybody wanted a Flying V. Jimi Hendrix actually had a Flying V.
Yeah.
Karl Sandoval, he filled a hole in the market that existed at the time. Still really, really popular guitars. His stuff is definitely in demand, brings really good money.
Yeah.
He didn't make a whole lot of these in the 70s. I know he's still making guitars. I've seen this guitar that's polka dotted. I've never seen it with like the diamond shapes on it. Was this ever repainted or anything like that?
No, I think it was custom built for a guy right around the same time he built Randy Rhoads' polka dot Flying V.
Oh, all right, yeah, because he made one for Randy Rhoads from Quiet Riot.
Right.
How much did you want for it?
$4,500.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to call somebody up who will know more about this guitar than I would. I'll be right back.
All
okay?
right, thank you.
This is Karl Sandoval.
No way.
Look at that paint job. Unbelievable. I can tell what kind of paint that I used back then just by the patina.
Check it out.
Originally, I mean, this thing has been played on stage a lot because
definitely.
you can just tell it's not faded where the guy's arm was.
Definitely. Can you hold that 1 second?
Sure.
I'm blind. Okay, this body it's made out of alder. It's a Flying V. It's incorporating Gibson and Fender. Okay, we've got the Fender bridge, 6 inline tuners, and toggle switch.
So it's definitely yours, and it's definitely one of a kind.
Absolutely, absolutely. The reason why I'd say one of a kind, diamonds, I don't recall ever building another guitar that had the diamond pattern on it. But I'm just glad to see it.
All right, so the big question is, who'd you make it for?
Well, this was made
Tell
for...
me like some massive rock star.
Well, actually, it was made for a guy in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and where he ended up going, I really don't know.
He was a rock star in his own mind.
Yes. Would you like to know what I would charge for one of these if I build it right now?
How much that? Yeah, sure.
You're looking at about $7 grand.
Okay.
For a guitar like this.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Very welcome. Call me anytime.
It's a pleasure.
Good talking to you.
Thanks, man.
Have fun. Beautiful guitar. Good luck.
Okay, well, I brought in the legend himself who verified it.
Yeah.
Once again, what do you want for this thing?
45, I think, is fair. And I like to stay right on that just because it's the one of a kind and it's one of the first ones he did. Help out a starving musician.
All music. Right. I have, I built this pawn shop on starving musicians.
Yeah.
All right, tell you what, well, $3,700.
Awesome.
We got a deal, man.
Thanks, man.
Okay. They just got to teach me how to use it. No. Crew's right around the corner. I'll write you up, and I'll get you paid.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Got the guitar. I just need to get my hair back. Then I'll be a rock star.
I've got something here for you to see.
Okay. It's not a machine gun or anything, is it?
No, no.
Whoa.
It's a Beatles guitar. All signed by the four of them.
That's really cool. Where did you get this?
I got it in '87, but it was signed in '64.
I mean, if it's legit, it's absolutely amazing. You got a ridiculous amount of money here. Have you ever had this looked at by anybody?
Yes, by many people.
Okay. This looks absolutely amazing, but this happened a lot with the Beatles. Girls would come up, they'd want their autograph. The roadies would go, I'll go get something signed for you. And then they would go, behind a corner and sign everything and then come back out, try and get a girl's phone number. It wasn't signed by the artist. And to have something signed by all four of them on a guitar is rarer than hen's teeth. It really is. How much do you want for this thing?
I want $100,000.
Your number's close to being in the ballpark. It really is. My big concern is, we have big, bold signatures of the Beatles on a guitar. I've just never seen that before. So I really want maybe a couple people to look at this. So
I'd be happy to have somebody look at it.
So what are you concerned about?
I'm looking at a guitar that's got these autographs on it. Alarm bells go off in my head.
Well, you're quite right to be suspicious, because if you had a Beatles guitar signed in 1964 in America, it would be $250,000. Easy. Easy.
Okay.
Anybody signed anything in 1964, they'd be signing with a ballpoint pen, not a Sharpie.
That's not really true. In 1940, the felt pen was invented in Japan. In 1962, felt pens, the flare was brought over here.
I remember those. They were colored ink, and it didn't stick to anything like this.
No, they were black flare pins, black felt pins in 19...
Okay. All right.
That you can
debate
look...
that. We're going
That
to
you can look up on the
this all
internet.
the way
On the
down.
internet.
So what do you think of it?
Does that mean that the Beatles were carrying them around?
No, but the person that got it signed maybe had it. That's what I'm saying. This guy, he was involved somehow with their tour.
My opinion on this is it's too good to be true.
When I take a look at the whole thing, I've seen this before. Especially have seen this inscription before.
Okay, so what are you saying?
It's not real.
Oh.
Okay.
And I know the guy who did it. And he's a pretty famous guy. He's been doing this for years and years. He's kind of out of the running now, but mostly targets albums, album pages. He likes to try and fool people.
So it's the same forger doing lots of stuff?
Yeah. This is a real pronounced E on here.
Right.
But it's too pronounced, and someone screwed up here, so.
Okay, so it's definitely not the signatures.
None of them?
No, here, the Ringo Starr is something that, when Ringo did his, underneath his signature here, this is a beautiful example of what he used to do. This is not.
It's breaking my heart.
I'm sorry, it just works out that way.
I'm sorry.
I am too.
Okay. I would have loved to have bought it, but,
Well, no, I wouldn't want to sell it if it's not real.
Thanks for coming in.
I'll just keep it, hang it on my wall.
Okay.
Thank you. The fact that they're telling me that it's not real doesn't necessarily make me really believe it's not real. I still have hope. If you lose hope, what have you got?
So I'm assuming this is a guitar, not a gun?
It is a guitar.
Okay.
It's a very special guitar. One of a kind.
It's a very colorful guitar.
It is very colorful and beautiful, too, you have to admit. Painted and played by Phil Collen of Def Leppard.
Holy
Yes.
So how much did you want for it?
I want $10,000 for it.
Let me call a buddy of mine to check it out.
Okay.
Jackson Guitars is kind of the company that a lot of the more metal kind of guys and 80 guys gravitated towards because they're known for being extremely fast-playing guitars. The tremolo system locks, so you can dive bomb on this guitar and the guitar will stay in tune really well. It's kind of like the height of technology of the era for guitars.
Okay.
Do you play it all or anything?
No, I wish I did. I could only appreciate it, but it has not been played.
Has not been played, okay. That's cool, it's got his signature, and AP number 3 is artist proof. Yeah, there you go again, AP3. This is probably one of the ones when he was trying to figure out how to do the paint. You know, that's cool, that's really, really cool.
Okay, so what do you think it's worth?
This guitar, bone stock from the factory without the paint. I mean, this is a $3,000 guitar if you were to just go buy his signature guitar.
Okay.
Without any of the artwork. But, you know, this, dude, being an artist proof and everything like that, and he's a very well-known guitar player, very respected guitar player. So if it all checks out, you know, dude, easily 10 to 12 grand probably. But I know somebody that knows quite a bit more about the artwork end of this. I'm not an art guy at all. I called him and he's on his way down here to check it out, so.
Okay. All right, we'll just hang out and we'll see what happens.
All right.
Whoa.
Oh, my God.
Is that Def Leppard? No frickin' way.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, hi there. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
So, did you paint this?
It looks like I'd done 30 of these. It was Jackson Guitars' 30th anniversary, and for that, I splash painted 10 more, like, practice run ones. And if it's one of the ones I did, I'd tell you really easy, because it's got my signature on it.
In Japanese?
Oh, that as well, yeah. That says Phil in Japanese.
Are you sure?
No, you know, and actually,
I often wondered myself.
I know, right?
Okay, so this is one of the ones you did?
Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look on the back.
It certainly looks like one of yours.
Totally. And what's interesting, because this was one of the ones I was practicing on. The first 10, I've got AP 1 to 10.
I know, I remember this. I remember when you were doing these.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the ones I did.
Come back to roost.
Okay.
Definitely works. That's very cool.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure.
I'm, like, deeply impressed.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Take
it,
care.
really.
That was pretty surreal.
That was amazing. It was.
All right, so what's your best price on this?
Well, all things considered, I'm going to say 10,000.
Let me give you $8 grand for it. I mean, I got to make a little bit of money.
9,000.
Phil Collen did play it now. Let me give you 8,500 bucks.
I'll do it.
All right, sweet.
Okay.
I'll meet you right over there, and we'll do some paperwork.
Sounds good. Thank you.
A guy came in with a Gibson Les Paul that he claims is from 1969. A lot of the original parts have been replaced. So I called in my buddy Jesse to see if people are still going to want this guitar after all this work. We have a Les Paul, and he's not sure what year it is and knows nothing about it.
Cool. Ooh. It's kind of a neat transition model. It's a probably a 68 or 69. Some of them had a one-piece mahogany slab like this one. It's been painted, if you want to call it that. It was probably a gold top, which is a shame that they took the finish off of it. This little switch here's added. It's had a bunch of stuff done to it. We should probably plug it in and make sure, with all this stuff that's been done to it, that it works.
Make sure it doesn't catch on fire.
Yeah, make sure it doesn't blow up, yeah. The early 68s, are held in pretty high regard. They're built almost identical to the build style of the late 50s Les Pauls. They're kind of rare, you don't see them that often. There's actually kind of has its own like almost cult following of those guitars. Let's see what it does here. Yeah, it works. Actually, pretty decent sounding guitar, man. That guitar actually sounded pretty good. It seemed like a pretty decent guitar. Had a nice neck shape. Weight was right. It was a nice one.
So, what do you think it's worth?
These in 100% original condition, $6,000 to $7,000. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff done to this. The finish is kind of a whopper. It puts it in what we call a player's grade guitar, which means you've got a vintage guitar that's not going to bring a vintage price, so guys that actually play and stuff can afford it, and not worry about taking it out and beating up on it and that kind of stuff. So they're a little bit sought after, actually, because of that.
Okay.
If I was to hang it on the wall in my shop, it'd probably be at like $3,500 probably. That's probably what I would say the guitar's actually worth.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Take care. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks for showing it to me. Modifications on a guitar don't bother some people. From a businessman standpoint, I want to get them as clean as I possibly can, especially if I'm something I'm going to sell or use as an investment.
What you got here?
I have a vintage guitar. It was custom made for my mother.
Okay.
Peggy Eames, who is in our gang comedies.
Really? Cool. Well, yeah, it was our gang for years until it went on television, then it was the Little Rascals.
Correct.
And this was your mom's guitar?
Yes. So one-of-a-kind Gibson.
You sure this ain't a Peggy?
When was she on the Little Rascals, our gang?
They were just forming it up in 1925. She won a contest with a trip to Hollywood to go and try out for our gang. So she got in with the Our Gang bunch while they were still doing silent movies. This was one of her Our Gang movies, Seeing the World. She's right here.
Okay.
Those are some pretty cool pictures.
Our Gang was one of the longest-running film series in history. It appealed to people of all ages, even though it featured kids. Funny enough, to get the kids to remember their lines, the director used a trick. He would explain the scenes as carefully as he could, and then he would film the kids as they play-acted their lines.
So do you have any pictures with her, with the guitar?
Yes.
All right, there we go, right there.
Here's where she starts playing the guitar. When she got too old to be in our gang, she started doing stage acts, singing, dancing. She wanted a guitar to do her act. She went to Gibson. It's probably one of the first SJs, Super Jumbos, that Gibson made.
Really? Okay.
The guitar's bigger than she is.
So do you know what year she bought the guitar?
We have had people look at this and say that it's a 1938.
I mean, literally, Gibson guitars, even from the beginning when the company was called Gibson Mandolins, they used the best woods, the best construction. You don't see a lot of pre-war Gibsons anymore, you just don't. Most of the ones were bought by professional musicians, and they beat them to death.
Yeah, when kids started arriving, it stayed in the case pretty much.
I mean, it looks in absolutely great shape. So what do you want to do with it?
I'm looking for a value of $75,000.
Okay. A pre-war Gibson is a rare find. I mean, I've paid as high as $90,000 for a Gibson in here. And if this is a real 1938 Gibson Super Jumbo, it could be worth a ton. Do you mind if I call somebody up and take a look at it?
That'd be very good.
I am going to go give someone a jingle. I'll be back. We have a really early Gibson, potentially a 1938.
Wow, that's an early one. Well, if it's a 38, it's a Super Jumbo. It's the first year that they made these. And it came to be one of Gibson's most famous guitars. Everybody has played and recorded with Super Jumbo, Neil Young, LaHoo. So to have a first-year production, that's a big deal. The 38 Super Jumbo is one of the most iconic sounding guitars there are. It was loud. It had a really nice mellow low end to it. They even make a reissue of the 38 the first year because it's such a significant guitar. Yeah, this is 1938 for sure. It's got a D for the letter, and that was only used in 1938. So.
All right.
It's a Super Jumbo. That's super cool. The custom work on it, that makes it really cool. Who was she?
Peggy Eames, my mother, started out in the Our Gang Silence, and from there she went into vaudeville when she outgrew Our Gang.
That is awesome. Our Gang was great, but she's not super well known. Do you guys have any other concerns with the guitar? Or?
No, I think he covered everything except that one big one. What's it worth?
This is probably a $40,000 guitar.
I'll give you $45,000 for the guitar.
Well, my intention was that the money would be used as a down payment on like a getaway cottage, call it Peggy's Cabin. My asking price, $75, is really where I still want to stay on it.
There's very few people in the world who have enough money to spend on a stock 1938 guitar. You bump that up to the few guys who buy the custom ones, it can take me years to sell something like this. That's what I can do. I mean, I will go $45,000.
If you were the end collector, is it of interest to you?
That's just it. I'm not the end collector.
65 would probably move me on it.
I'll go 47. I assume all the risk after that, you know what I mean?
I think I'll hold it around a little bit longer.
Okay. If you change your mind, I'm here.
Okay, I appreciate that. There's a lot more involved here than money. The family heirloom part of it is real strong. Maybe during a family gathering once a year, Peggy's Cabin, and it'd be like a memorial.
A guy came in with a 1970s Ibanez guitar, and it's still in pretty good shape. So I had Jesse come down to give me his opinion.
What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
We brought you a guitar to nerd out on.
All right. Later 70s Ibanez, a little musician. That's what they called this one in. What do you need to know?
I just don't know that much about Ibanez's.
Yeah. Well, you know, Ibanez is a good company. You know, Steve Vai uses Ibanez's. Jerry Garcia's been known to use Ibanez. They have a lot of bigger name artists that use their stuff. Kind of a little bit associated now with a little bit more like metal. They're really well-made guitars. They had like the Musician series and the Artist series. The Musician was like the working man's kind of guitar, and then the Artist was a little bit fancier. Real similar guitars in design, but you'd see like the Artist would have binding, and like they had this inlay they called the Tree of Life, which was like vines and leaves that went all the way up the neck and stuff like that. Ibanez today is still one of the top dogs in the guitar world. They're used by thousands of guitar players. They've always been a really consistent, good guitar company. They had a lot of kind of cool design features on these too, man, like the neck-through design. The piece of wood that the neck is made of goes all the way through the whole body. A lot of people think it makes the guitar sustain better. You mind if I pick it up and play it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool little guitar, man.
So what's it worth, man?
Well, you know, the Artist series of these, they'll go up into, you know, the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 range. The Musician series, there is a good collector's market for these and stuff. So really clean ones of these, probably hovering in that, you know, $1,000, $1,200, depending on options. But the knobs are changed. Ibanez made a real similar knob, but it had a little rubber piece. Looks like this one's had a little repair or something there. This one, in the condition it's in, you know, it's got the little crack thing going on there and everything. I'd say it's probably, you know, worth $750 or so.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming down.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
All right. All right. Catch you guys later. Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Corey gets this guitar, a player will buy it. It's a good guitar. It plays really good. It sounds nice. There are fanatical Ibanez collectors out there.
$750.
Okay.
I'm not giving him $750. That's what we can sell it for. I'll give you $500, man.
I was hoping a little bit more than that. About $600.
It's very rare someone comes in and asks for $600 when something's worth $750. I mean, it kind of throws me off my game here.
Right.
How about $550 so I feel like I won?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, cool.